Where's the car? Oh, I forgot. I have to do this. Welcome back to the Cornea impression. And as you can see, we have the Range Rover Sport. Now we have done a complete walk around video of this car when it was launched during its global premiere, which is available to you here. And we have also done a complete walk around of the Range Rover Sport SV, the big daddy of the sport range. The walk around video by Yash is available over here for you to watch. But what are we going to talk about this car in today's video? Well, we're going to be talking about how it looks, which should be slightly repetitive from the previous video, and you can watch it, like I said, up here. But we're going to be talking mainly about the performance, about the interiors and the handling of this car. It is going to be a big money maker for Land Rover, and that is a super important segment for this brand. In fact, for Land Rover or GLR, it's very interesting as to how the product mix is. For most brands, it's the cheaper cars that sell the most. But in GLR's case, it's actually the more expensive cars that sell the most. So the Range Rover Big Daddy and the Range Rover Sport make close to 70 to 80% of their sales globally, letting you know how important this car is for GLR. The first thing I personally love about this car is the paint scheme. It's called Ostuni Pearl White. It kind of takes me back to this car being in front of a snow-clad mountain overlooking a valley vista just covered in snow. The white on white combination, even in the studio, just makes it pop. Imagine this car right in front of Mount Fuji. It looks stunning and spectacular, even in a base shade just as white. And this is a pearl white. It has a lot of intricate shades that pop out from it when you look at it in detail. Now, the other interesting bits about the look are all the Range Rover, Land Rover badging and the rims are in a matte finish. So they are matte grey or in matte green. Like the entire Range Rover logo over here is matte grey, and this is matte green over here. Tires are matte grey, and the rear logo of Range Rover also is in matte grey. In the global walk around video, I had shared the information that this design was based on the 3/ design, which they have incorporated into this car. So they have made 3 slashes, the roof, the middle line and the base line, and they designed the car around that completely. The entire series of modern Range Rovers is based on the theory and research that was done on the first generation of the Evoque. Taking inspiration from the Evoque, they have evolved into a series of beautiful cars, beautiful SUVs that have become popular globally. Talking about the looks of the car, as you can see, it has the complete Range Rover Sport profile. It is evidently a Range Rover Sport, and you can say it is the modern or the latest version. The complete front end has become longer and deeper. As you can see, it's really long, and this has Sport Dynamic Pack, which is a body kit. So you have a complete body kit around the car, so front, side and rear skirts, which make and add character to this car. It even has retractable floorboards, so that makes it easy to get in and out of the car. You can see the DRLs and the new headlight clusters, which look spectacular, and also the bronze or copper accents which are there across the car, which give it a lot of presence and a lot of character, making people know you're driving a fully kitted out car. So are you ready to spend that money on your Range Rover? I would. Nothing much to describe about the sides. Take the previous generation Range Rover Sport, widen it and stretchen it, and voila, you have the new one. So this looks exactly like the previous generation. Yes, there are small bits and pieces that are new, but the entire flow and silhouette is exactly like the previous generation. Good looking in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. The backside is completely different. It is nothing like the previous generation, making it look very unique, very modern and special on the road. The entire fit and finish is almost like a jewelry manufacturer making a luxury product, luxury jewelry or a luxury watch. Range Rover has adopted the same principle for this car. Even the LED lights are backlit. They look flushed in and very elegant. The complete rear end takes some getting used to, but I can see most customers now liking it. Welcome to the interiors of the brand new Sport. And what an interior. As minimalist as possible and at the same time as elegant as possible. It is covered in sumptuous materials such as leather. This fabric over here, and obviously dual tone leather with contrast stitching. I am assuming this fabric is wool, because I remember them saying that you can get this fabric, which is a woolen fabric, on the interiors as well. And depending on how you are, you can use or spec your Range Rover Sport with multiple materials, including stuff such as recycled fabric and recycled leather, or vegan leather, or real leather, or a ton of other options that you want. So the interior is completely customizable. Now when you sit inside, you sit in a very nice high up commanding position, very comfortable seats. Obviously you have the standard or the trademarked armrest from Range Rover. I don't like it personally, but I know people who will always want to drive with this down over here. I just prefer to use this big center console. Now, like I said, this is a comfortable place to be in, and it has a lot of tech. We have the brand new Pivi Pro system. Now this was awarded the infotainment system of the year, I think last year. It's not the simplest to use. It's a bit tricky, but it's still definitely easier to use than Mercedes MBUX. That is a whole other degree of complicated. But yes, this is easy to use. It takes some getting used to. You need some practice, but once you get the hang of it, you're good to go. Obviously, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is available wireless. Oh, by the way, can you guys guess where the charging pad is over here? Can you? Well, I'll show you. Give me your phone, please. It's over here. So this is where your wireless charging pad is. Very interesting place to put it. My biggest problem with the interiors on the Range Rover Sport is the ergonomics. They always kind of make it funny. One of them being right now the climate control. So if you want heated and cool seats, you have to push down the button and move left on this knob. If you want to change the blower speed, you have to pull it up and then fidget that around. But whenever you do that, you're always pushing and pulling the gear, like you're always fidgeting with the gear lever because it comes in the way. And I find that annoying. Yes, it does not change the gear mode while driving, but it is annoying that whenever you want to do this, you end up putting pressure on this unless you want to go like up like that, which is an uncomfortable feel for your wrist. Yes, I know, very small things, but they actually matter when you buy a car that is close to $100,000 or 500,000 dirhams. So yeah, they have to figure this out. And even when you want to fidget around with the AC vents or temperature and all, you're looking down, pulling and pushing stuff which you don't want to do when you're on the highway. So that kind of bothers me. Even like while using the Pivi Pro, it is a 13-inch screen, so it's big enough and it's nice and floating and looks very pretty. Like I said, minimalist, but it's always distracting to figure out what you want to do and push. I personally do not like that. What I do like is this particular knob over here. This helps you decide which off-road mode to choose in, and because this is a Range Rover, it has a ton of off-roading options: snow, gravel, mud, sand, etc, 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 wading. It can go into lakes. It can do pretty much everything that you can throw at it off-roading wise, but 99.99% of these cars will not even see a grain of sand. But yes, decide to go off-roading, you can choose which mode to go on, or just push this knob down and the car will go on auto mode and decide what to do when it comes to off-roading, which is very capable system in my opinion. All in all, a good place to be in, very comfortable place to be in. It's got heated and cooled seats, Massaging features are optional. It has the Meridian sound system, which is phenomenal. If you're buying a Range Rover, spec the car with the Meridian audio system. You will not regret it, because it is one of the best audio systems fitted on any production car. Depending on which part of the world you are in, you can get multiple engine options with your Range Rover. But the most common one that will be sold across the world is the P400, the one that I am driving now. And the P400 is used on multiple models across the spectrum of the Range Rover family or the Land Rover family. This engine is the P400. It is an inline 6-cylinder engine producing 400 horsepower, close to 400 horsepower, and is turbocharged and supercharged at the same time. In certain countries, you will also be getting a plug-in hybrid. And then there is the Big Daddy V8 in the same car as well. The V8 is sourced from BMW, and that is a twin turbo unit, and we will be driving that soon after this. If you don't care about going too fast or showing off to your friends about what's under the hood, the inline 6-cylinder P400 does a brilliant job. The engine is smooth, refined and comfortable. It can manage highway driving with a breeze, does 0 to 100 in 5.7 seconds, and is mated to a brand new gearbox. The gearbox, which is an 8-speed automatic gearbox on this, is smooth. The shifts are seamless, and as a highway driver, cruiser, even in start-stop city traffic, this is a very comfortable car. It kind of just glides over every situation and every pothole and everything thrown at it. The air suspension does a brilliant job. I love the short turning radius, and this is without the rear wheel steer. So when you add that, the turning radius even becomes shorter and highway stability goes up. Push it through corners and bends. Yes, this is no sports car, but it can hold its own, and at any given point of time, you wouldn't feel unnerved by driving this car too fast through a bend. Yes, it's not going to match a Porsche GT3 RS, but it does a decent job. For those people who want to talk about handling, performance, braking, etc., for them there is a special version, the Range Rover Sport SV, which is completely mad. It's a complete performance car, and that goes up against the likes of the Porsche Cayenne Turbo and the other performance SUVs out there. This is a comfortable highway cruiser that can go around in style, can go around in elegance, you can go around with luxury and really know that you are driving something premium, letting people know that you have arrived. And since this is a Range Rover, it has a ton of off-road pedigree, and because it has that off-road pedigree, you know that this car can go anywhere and everywhere. You know that this car can take on the toughest of off-roading situations thrown at you, or thrown at the car technically, because it has a very intelligent 4-wheel drive system. You can even choose which system you want to play with or what kind of terrain you are in by the buttons over here. But for those people who really want to see it off-road, I'm going to attach a video that Land Rover or Range Rover had made when they launched this car. It's an epic video. You guys need to check it out. One of the features that this car has is that it can wade up to 900 millimeters of water. It can wade through 900 millimeters of water. That's a lot of water. So if you're ready to take on a lake or you want to go fishing, I think you can do that in the Range Rover. Just go through the water, cast a line, catch some fish, pull it out and take it home and eat it. I would love someone to do that. I would love to see someone do that. I'm pretty sure someone in America will do this if they watch the video. Discussing the Range Rover Sport still. Now this is another one. This is the V8. And what is different from the V8 when you look at the regular Range Rover Sport? Well, first of all, on the front end, absolutely nothing. It looks exactly like any other Range Rover Sport that is out there. This particular one is the Range Rover Sport V8 first edition, long name, but identifying factors are the 23-inch rims and the red brake calipers with Brembo written on them. This is all that you can make out from far away to let you know externally that this is a V8 car. There is one more telltale sign. Let's go at the back. The only other way to differentiate the V8 from a regular Sport is these quad exhausts at the rear, which look beautiful. Few other ways to differentiate between the regular Range Rover Sport and the V8 are the first edition badges inside the car, forged carbon fiber on the interiors, ambient lighting on the interiors, and rear infotainment system for the passengers. And now it's time to drive the V8 and check it out. It's time to talk about the performance on the Range Rover Sport P530. And from the get-go, you can hear the difference. Obviously, it is a twin-turbo V8 provided by BMW. From the second you floor it, you can feel the extra power. It's got 530 horsepower and does 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds. Obviously, it's faster than the P400 inline-6 engine, which produces 400 horsepower. But it's also 130 or 140 kilograms heavier, and you can definitely feel that weight during bends and corners. So, is it truly justified paying extra money to get extra weight and extra horsepower, which is set off with each other? Plus, the V8 gets 23-inch rims, which look good, but I'm not particularly fond of them because even though they look good and the car looks lowered in ride height, they make the ride rougher. So you can feel everything, you can feel every single bump, you can feel every single pothole, you can feel every single undulation on the road, which in a luxury car such as this is not required. So definitely don't get the 23 inches, even though they look good, go for the 22s. So do you get the V8 or the inline 6-cylinder? Now, I know people who will say, I don't care about anything else, I just want a V8 and I'm going to pay extra money for it. I'm okay with it being slower or faster or heavier, it doesn't matter to me. They just love a V8, and I understand why, because there is a creaminess to the power delivery. There is a stability to how the car behaves, and there's a nice bandwidth of power available throughout the speedometer, so throughout the speed range of the car. So that makes it a delight to drive. It makes it very engaging, a lot more fun to drive than the inline 6. The inline 6 is fast and smooth, but it's a little detached in how the car behaves. The V8 just brings in more engagement to the Range Rover Sport. Personally, I see myself buying the P400 just for the fact that it is a comfortable day-to-day cruiser and does all the things that this particular car does, and I save up on some money, better fuel efficiency, and it gives me the prestige of driving around in a Range Rover Sport. So for me, the P400 does the job. I think it's the perfect blend of options, looks, performance, and everything that the Range Rover Sport has to offer. It's also more nimbler than this. Yes, I don't care about the 0 to 100 timings difference between both of them because I like the nimbleness and agility of the P400. Now the price of this car is roughly around 750,000 dirhams, but it starts at 600,000 dirhams. That's a huge price jump from the P400. You guys have my verdict. Let me know which version would you guys choose for your Range Rover Sport in the comments. Until next time, see you guys later. Bye.